welcome, welcome, everyone. Hope you're all doing having a fantastic time and living a great life. I'm Peggy Beauregard, the Nest Egg Builder, and we have a great surprise for all of you. I have a book that will be on the market tomorrow, which will be the end of April. Oh, and that would have been my anniversary. Okay, so I am going to share my screen and hope it all comes out right. And I know you'll all tell me if you can see the screen or not. So can you see that screen?
No.
Okay, good. Can you see this screen?
Yes.
Okay, good. I'll get this all figured out eventually. So this is the book cover. Is the screen still there to see?
No, it's not.
Oh, good. I closed the wrong thing. Is it? I don't know how you reopen it. Okay, well, that was the book cover. So that was a book cover. It's called Build Your Nest Egg. Build Your Nest Egg. The Discover the Magic of Money. I'm going to go find it again. Recording. Okay, so here is the cover of the book called Build Your Nest Egg, Discover the Magic of Money and Investing. And as you can see, the eggs just keep building and keep falling in because when you build your nest egg, you end up with so many great things. Uh, can you see this part of the screen?
The table of contents?
The table of contents. Yes. So here's the table of contents. This is this is this is the basic book of money. So actually, Kathy was nice enough to edit one of the chapters, and it's basically basics of money and how money works. So I've just gone through all the different ways that money works. Touched, mindset has a lot to do with it, as we all know. I don't like to really call it mindset, but people do get set in their mind. They heard all these stories as they were growing up, and they made up a story about how they feel about money. And most parents don't ever talk to their children about money. So I thought, okay, let's do the basic of money. I dumbed it down as much as I could so parents could read this to their children and the parents would understand and explain it to their children. So just all the things that are really important with money, the time value of money, that's so important. That is one of the biggest. Compound interest versus simple interest, what the differences are. Budget, it's really simple, and do we do that? Credit versus debit or debt, which I call it's debt versus debt. That's how I look at it. I've never seen it be credit actually. So, oh, Freddie came in. So, and you have to take charge of your charge cards. And then I give you a bunch of ideas on how to save money. And it goes on for each simple, easy things. And then we always get pulled off where we were going by the shiny objects. So, how do you stay on track so you don't keep going off on the shiny objects? And the rule of 72, that's how long it takes for you to double your money. If you put your money into a 1% bank account, savings account, it will only take 72 years for you to double your money. So think about, I got Kathy there. Think about where you would really like your money to grow because guess what? That's not the place. And then we go through some investment strategies and show you what add value is and the rewards of contribution. And then I'm just going to scroll through this. It's all the chapters are really short, and this will be on Amazon tomorrow if you're interested in it. Do a little bit about the brief history of coinage, which is money, and how that goes. I found some little pictures that I thought was kind of fun, where you start off with kind of not what you really want to do, and you're not sure of which way to turn. And then one day everything just kind of opens up for you. So it's not that long. I really like the pictures. I thought the pictures are really cute. So it's all about the pictures and learning and teaching your kids and growing and going upscale until you get what you want. So here's simple interest and compound interest. You see how one grows faster than the other? Because it compounds like that. And then here's a little example of when I bought a candy bar back there when I was a little kid for a nickel, and now it costs $2. Yep, you got to watch the time value of money. And like, this is all it. I just wanted to share the book. I think it's a great book. Actually, when I was reading it, I didn't actually remember that I wrote it. And I started crying in one of the chapters. I'm like, oh my God, I started laughing after I started crying because I couldn't believe that I wrote something that actually, that I was that good of a writer. So anyway, here's like what all that is. Any questions? Any thoughts? Any interest? Oh yeah, and here's QR code. So if you click on the QR code, like here's something about Larry Bird. So I just thought instead of you typing out the whole HTTPS website on Google, just click on this and it'll take you right there. And you can read about Larry Bird and the reason he's even being talked about in this chapter is because I don't know if you know much about Larry Bird. I know he's a little older now, but following the shiny object and staying on track. How do you stay focused and stay on track? Well, you follow somebody like Larry Bird, who would arrive about 2 hours before any game and throw 300 baskets. It was only required to be there 90 minutes early for a basketball game for the NBA basketball players, but he was there hours early because he never, of course, there wasn't anybody in his way, but he never missed. Something else I read about him the other day is right before he'd shoot, he'd take a step back so there wasn't anybody in front of him. I thought that was brilliant. Oh, I don't know if you guys are basketball fans or not. I followed it from high school. And then we have her name slips my mind. Oh, Hedy Lamarr. Hedy Lamarr, she came up with whatever it takes, a frequency hopping signal that today is what Bluetooth and the internet are based on. So I had a little real history there, and it's just a fun book. I hope you'll all read it when you get it, and read it to your children or your grandchildren or your great grandchildren, depending on where you are, like that. Any comments? Okay, and then
Happy to read it.
the reward of contribution, time, talent, treasure. I like this because I think everybody needs to give in some way or another. And what's the best way for you to give? Is talent a great way to give where you can teach somebody something so they learn? How about treasure? Write the check. Or what about your time? Give your time. I know some of my friends like to go downtown to Los Angeles to feed the homeless or run with them or give them water while they're running or travel. There's a judge downtown LA that takes a group of homeless with him when he travels once a year. And the other people that support get to go with them. They all pay for themselves, and they raise funds so that the homeless can go. I just think it's really great what this judge does. Anyway, and then here is when you get to this page, when you get to this page, oh, I thought I brought, oh, I did. It's just, somebody has cleaned it up and I could not find that. But I'd like to play this for you. Does anybody have any comments or thoughts so far? None? Nada? Hi, Freddie. Welcome. Glad you're here. Okay, so David and Ethan, you can listen, but I am going to play this video, which is only on a QR code in my book. I'm not putting it anywhere where anybody can see it. You have to buy the book to see this. But you who are here are very special to me, and I wanted you to hear this interview with my friend Wah. They are off on a trip, so there's a lot of background noise, and we have cleaned it up, but I couldn't find that video. Isn't that fun when I can't find anything I need? Sorry, I had 10 minutes to get ready. Okay, here we go.
Hi, my name is Dr. Hua Nguyen. And I'm Athena Gonzalez.
Can you hear it?
So let's start the conversation about money. And we're going to have my husband ask us some questions. And then the two of us are just going to have a casual conversation about, when do we talk about money and how did this all start and what you know about money at this point. And other people, if we encourage other people to start having the conversation about money early on.
So, Dr. Hua, what age did you start the conversation about money to Athena?
So we would say pretty early. I mean, she was literally about 3 years old. And, she understood. People would say she didn't understand money. She understood money. We would do little games about money. And I'm going to let her explain and what she remembers about it.
So when I was around 3, I used to make little menus and I would do pricing. I'd make a little restaurant. I'd do probably usually like sushi menus, Italian menus, and stuff like that. And also, what's funny, I had this little card and I used to put all my money in it. No one didn't know about it until like a little like, and my parents found out because my nanny opened it and yeah.
And we started doing like physical money. So we would take like all the pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters, $1 bill, $5 bill, $10 bill, $20 bill, $100 bill. So she knew what each one actually looked like. And then so we would learn how to count. And so she would learn all of that at a very young age, 3, as early as yeah.
And I think on this particular age, I mean, she's been very familiar with money, but she knows what's very expensive, what's on sale, and she does her own shopping. You want to tell them a little bit about that on what you do for shopping?
So I really like to go on Shein TV because they have cheaper things that like are usually kind of expensive. Like I got my clothes from there and stuff like that. And yeah.
So that's really good. So when she goes to the mall or we take her to different stores and we're looking at a different shirt or socks or shoes or whatnot, she already has the knowledge of what the value of that dollar is. And so she's like, Mommy, I can buy this online, at Shein or at Temu for like $3, or versus $25, right? And so she understands the amount of savings or how better deals, right? She likes deals, trust me.
So how do you see her future on what she already knows about money?
I think it's really great because we give her a lot of options and choices. When she gets money, say for instance, for her birthday, if someone gives her $20 or $100 or different occasions, she has the ability to choose how much of that money she wants to save to go shopping, to buy things, how much of that money she wants to invest, right, with mommy and daddy, right? And so she's always asking how much money, how much interest has that made already, right? So she understands investing. She understands saving. She has a little piggy bank, right? That she'll put different coins and things like that, and dollar bills and money that she saves. And so that conversation has been done starting at age 3, and now she's 10. So I think that's really important for her. And what do you think about all that? How much have you learned about all that?
Yeah, I think it's really good starting at a young age because like the more like the younger you start, like the more you understand about it. And yeah, I think I know a lot already, like about saving money and also like donating with my parents.
Oh, yes. That's a good point. That's a big part of what we do is charity. You know, so a good portion of her money goes to donations, and she gets the autonomy to choose how much of that money she wants to give towards donations. And not only do you donate your money, but you get to go and travel to like Vietnam, to orphanages, to hospitals. And you see how much money how it works and helps others, like wheelchair distributions. And so being a part of that, understanding the money component and how it can save a person's life, right? Even with $20 or $100, how much of an impact it makes. So, yeah.
And so my next question would be, do you see Athena influencing her friends in some way regarding investing or savings with all the knowledge that she currently has?
Absolutely. I doubt many 10-year-olds know much about investing or the value of money, and having that conversation. You tell me though, you know, would you be open to having those conversations? Or do some of your friends already shop online, and do y'all talk about savings and better values and investing?
Uh, my friends and I like to save, like, we all go lunching and stuff. And we like getting deals. And my friends, yeah, we like,
So you like having that conversation. And it's sharing that knowledge, you know, we talk about, you know, rich dad, poor dad, and the cash flow quadrant. And I was teaching Athena ESBI, you know, when she was little, doing the quadrants. And then even when we invest in apartments or we invest in the stock market and how money grows in the interest rate, I mean, we explain that even though she's only 10, we speak to her like she's a little mini adult. Like her brain is probably a whole lot smarter than my brain. You know, so sometimes we assume, you know, because of their age, we talk to them about like little kiddie things. We never talk to you like a kid. Ever since you were little, we spoke to you just like a mini adult, because we know you're super intelligent and obviously much more forward thinking than mommy. So I think the conversation about money, saving, investing, donations, and all of that, absolutely, we want to spread the word, right?
yeah.
And that's why we're making this video, is because we want to share it with other parents and other kids that, yes, there's no stigma about talking about money. It's a good thing, because with more money, you can do more good in the world, right? Any last words you want to share?
Hope you have a good day with all your teams.
Bye.
So thank you for watching that. Comments? Gonna stop share.
Is your book going to be an audio book or just paper or hardback?
It's just paper. It's a softback, it's not hardback,
Okay.
like this. Easy, soft.
I'll buy it and I'll keep it, so when I run into you, I can get it signed.
Okay, I'm good with that. No,
All right,
what did you think about the video?
great. I mean, just from what she was teaching her, I just thought she was even maybe a 1 or 2 years older, but she's 10, and
She's
you brought
10.
she started earlier. Like that's
At 3, so she's got 7 years of experience.
inspiring. I have 2 nieces that are 10, and so I'm no 11 and 10. So I haven't even thought about telling them or anything like that. So just probably will start.
Yeah, you want to get them young while they're sponges, and we teach them colors when they're little, right? You get the books out, you teach them colors, you teach them how to count, you teach them manners, you teach them a lot of people take them to church, right? Get them inundated in some religion or of some sort, and yet nobody walks out of the house without money in their pocket in some way, and we don't talk about that tool that can work really well for us who know how to make it work well, and then wonder why our kids don't get ahead in life. So that's why I wrote this book. I'm looking forward to it coming out. My goal for it is to have 1 million copies sold before the end of the year. There's 300 million people in the United States. It would be really, really nice if parents explain money to their children while they're young, or their grandchildren because they missed out on their own children, right? My grandparents were more of an influence to me than my parents were because, your parents are always telling you what to do, but your grandparents take you out for dinner and buy you clothes, right? So it's a whole different relationship like that. So anything else? Oh, somebody's coming in.
So
No.
something that we did with our kids, teach them about the stock market. Um, at first they were dummy accounts, but then they became real accounts.
Okay.
Uh, we told them to pick some companies and that we would invest in their accounts in those companies. But before we invested, they would just pick companies kind of randomly. I didn't ask them why they picked the companies. Um, Once they picked the companies, we then show them how to look up the companies, um, find their balance sheets, where the company's making money or not making money. Then I would ask them why uh, they invested. They recommended investing in those companies. I will say I had an ulterior motive. The ulterior motive was I am not hip anymore. I don't know what's cool anymore. And my kids introduced me to some companies that I knew nothing about because they were spending time on those companies. And so they picked them, and then we put money in their accounts for those companies, and they tracked them. Um, so one of the interesting companies, my daughter, when she was going to school at Howard, she said she picked. Um, I don't use it. The company with I call it the gossip line X. What do they call that? What people gossip online. Um, she
X,
Facebook.
picked that.
Twitter,
What's that?
Twitter,
Uh,
X.
Twitter. Yeah, Twitter. And then we looked up the financials, and Twitter hadn't made any money. I know their stock was doing well, but my ground rule was if the company's not making money, I'm not investing in it. I don't care how much the stock is doing. Um, but she looked at it, and I gave it to her. I said, "You realize this company has never made any money. Their stock has done well, but they never at the time they had never made any money." And then she gave me another company, Lululemon.
Uh-huh.
I
Clothes
never heard of them. I never heard of them.
there, that's because you would never be wearing what they have in their store.
Yeah, I know. But then my wife told me, she says, every time I see you looking at somebody, they're probably wearing a Lululemon. And we looked at that company, and their books were just fantastically run company. And we invested in the company, and my daughter made a lot of money. Anyway, that's what we do. But if we had an ulterior motive, I'm sort of set in my ways, but I'm still interested in making money. And how do you find out? How do you find out about new stuff? And it's usually from kids.
Well, that's what Peter Lynch said. He ran Fidelity for years and years, and he said, invest in what you're using. That's because it's making money because you're shopping there. So that's really, really important. And your daughter, so did your daughter do play accounts, like a practice account, or did she
Oh
actually?
no, they were real accounts. No, no, we played it. We played for them for a while, but then we said, no, let's move from the play. We did the play account
Oh,
for like
okay.
3 months,
Right.
and then we moved to real money in
Okay.
their
So
accounts.
in
Yeah,
those particular stocks.
in those particular stocks. That's right.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, that's great, but
yeah,
I think that's a great reason because you want to stay up on what's going on and you want to be aware. And yeah, there's new stuff coming all the time. Like right now, there's what, 2,000 AIs that come out a month. I mean, there's like 20,000 AIs right now. How do you choose what's going to do well and what's not going to do well?
yeah. And then she ended up working at Lululemon when she was in college.
Ah,
So,
so,
so
yeah. Well,
anyway,
Lululemon's burned out in the Palisades, unfortunately. Yeah, no, that's exactly right. She shops there, she works there, invest. That's great. Thank you for those comments. And I'm going to see you Sunday.
Is it this Sunday?
It is this Sunday.
Okay, very good.
Okay, glad I
I'm
reminded.
gonna, I gotta make sure I buy your book before then so you can sign it.
Oh, I don't know if you'll get it before then or not. I don't know if I will either. It hasn't come, I mean, it's not published, so how can I get it in a couple of days? I'm on a plane Saturday morning. Yeah, could have it delivered to the hotel possibly. Anybody else with, hi, Marcy, you missed our whole show because it turned out we didn't have a speaker, so I, in 10 minutes, tried to pulled my book together, and then we ran through the chapters and the content just to show what is in the book. And then I had a 7-minute video from one of my friends that has a daughter that's 10, and she's been talking to her daughter since she was 3, or they have, both parents. And the kids, really 7 years of experience. And she invests, she shares with her friends about what they're doing. She contributes, she does donations, and then she also physically contributes. So she gives her time, her treasure, and her talent to her friends and whoever needs it.
Well, I was looking high and low for the announcement. I didn't see it. So I thought I'd go to the back issues and I tried that and I couldn't find, I found the listing and I clicked on it and it didn't work. Somehow I pulled up something else I could.
So thank you, everybody, for being here. Is there any other comments or thoughts before we go? And we are looking for speakers for next month. You know anybody that would like to speak, or if you would like to speak, let me know and we will get you set up.
I have a speaker for you. I just have to get both names and contact information together, and then I'll send it to you.
Okay, great. Thank you, Marcy, very much. Thank you, everyone, for being here today.
Thank you, Peggy.